In this video we're going to be looking into the typewriter, my Perfect Perk Sunbeam typewriter, currently listed with pretty much the same perks as what I had on my Bobcat, but we're going to look a little bit differently into this one. I'm going energy damage with it, just did a little bit of a guide about how the different elements work. And what I wanted for my typewriter, especially for this video, was energy, because I want this for encampment missions where I'm going to be getting a lot of random elements. So I figured it was nice with a good base weapon for that. Right now we have 51% crit hit chance and a high crit hit damage. We're going medium ammo, which means that we have like a higher impact and damage per bullet. But what I'm going to be doing this time around is not to go with this setup. As you can see, we have some pretty interesting perk options that we can go with the typewriter. I'm pretty big on 51% crit chance, but I got some really cool comments to my last video about using flat damage would give me a higher DPS or other options, and that is completely correct. But I wanted to have my Bobcat with a 51% crit hit chance because I feel it's really fun. But in this video we're going to do things a little bit differently, because I'm going to change my 1 crit rating into a fire rate, because 42% fire rate actually gives more damage than 30% additional damage. I feel so anyway. And I want this to like really fire faster. We're now up at 11.5 fire rate, which I feel is pretty good for a weapon such as this going medium ammo. We have affliction damage on it. If we compare this weapon here to the Bobcat that I just made a review about, we can see we have a faster fire rate with a bullet that deals more damage per hit. The only downside that we have with the typewriter with these perfect perks is that we have less crit hit chance, but we have everything else is the same or better, which is pretty crazy. And that's a pretty insane weapon that we have going here with the fast fire rate. We even have more impact and a shorter reload time, so all else equal, the typewriter compared to the Bobcat that I'm very hyped about looks like an insanely good weapon with these perks. We can also compare it to the Gravedigger, a very popular medium ammo weapon, and what we can see is, again, almost everything is better. We have less damage per bullet, we have the same crit hit chance, crit hit damage, we have a little bit less impact, we don't deal more damage to afflicted targets. We could do that, but then I would have to ditch my 135 critical hit damage. The damage to afflicted targets on a weapon like this I feel is like really good, because often you need to more than 2-shot opponents to take them out, because if they are weak they're going to be taken out by some type of area thing like a teddy tower, a grenade. So it is often a very good thing to have 45% additional damage to afflicted targets, but all else equal it looks like a much better weapon than the Gravedigger as well. So that is like, I feel the typewriter is a pretty crazy weapon. My first review of it was like not that cool, but a lot changes with the weapons when we can go perfect perks on them, I feel so anyway. So this here is like the first setup that I'm using. I was asked in my last video, why you're not using the Urban Assault Headhunter? It's amazing for weapon testing, and the Urban Assault Headhunter is a great hero. I mean, when you headshot with it and you just get this insanely fast fire rate, your DPS just increases like crazy. And since I just went fire rate on this weapon, it obviously means that I agree. Firing faster means that you deal more damage in less time, so there is no question about it. The faster fire rate, the Urban Assault Headhunter, it is like, she is the bomb. She is an amazing hero. She's just not really my playstyle, and in terms of showing like data on a weapon, she doesn't boost it up that much, because she doesn't give you like static bonuses. She gives you bonuses when you actually headshot and play with her. She is amazing, but not really my playstyle. But I wanted to include just a little bit of a glimpse with her in this video as well, because yeah, I mean, she melts things with the typewriter. It is unreal, of course it is, but she can pick up almost any weapon and make it shine, because when you headshot with her, I mean, she is a soldier and she gets an insane DPS boost for the crazy fast attack, so it's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to go with that. I also took up as with the last time, Special Forces Ramirez, because she gives you 24 and 10% additional damage. Wow! And then we have the additional 72% assault critical damage. That is also an option you can play with to really boost the amount of damage that you deal with a weapon such as the typewriter. We don't have as high a critical hit chance as we did with the bobcat. And of course, the more likely you are to crit, the more effect you're going to have of the critical hit damage. And this here is how the weapon would look with the setup: 134,000 base DPS, 38% chance to crit, dealing 257% additional damage when you do that. So that is also an option. But what I wanted to do was different. Oh yes, it was, because I am putting in the Master Grenadier, because having a faster fire rate and a lower critical hit chance means that I feel I get a much better DPS by firing a lot of high base damage bullets. I mean, it's a huge difference. Even though we're only talking 30% flat crit rate chance going down, it means a lot if you're firing really fast and you have a higher base damage DPS. So this here is like the best I could possibly push the weapon to, I feel so, in terms of effective DPS when I'm playing with it, not just on paper, but like based on how I like to play the game, having this setup here going. And of course, Warcry, I also touched on that in my video review of the bobcat, and I've said loads of times that I don't like the Warcry, and I don't. I really don't like the Warcry. I like having things that work all the time, not things that I need to activate and wait to like make sure are ready. And I feel the duration of the Warcry is like way too low. But it doesn't change the fact that when you pop it, things just, it's insane. I mean, the double up on your DPS is unreal. I just generally don't really need that burst power, but it's very fun to use if you want to demonstrate how absolutely insane amounts of damage you can do in a short amount of time. And that is what you can do with the special forces. So having the special forces and having the Master Grenadier as the support means you get these crazy 58% additional base DPS to your, well, damage on your assault weapons, and then you can Warcry for even faster attacks and more damage, and it's unreal. And as you can see here, taking out encampments, this is what I really wanted to like feature a little bit in this video, that when you do encampments without having specific storm missions, you're gonna be up against random elements each time. And if you don't have a weapon that is really efficient against every single element, then having an energy weapon is the key to being amazing. This here is my personal like preference in terms of setup. I like playing with the Reclaimer. And when I do that, the weapon looks very different. We're down to 109.8 DPS, and that's not bad. It's still, and like the weapon is still really good. But the thing with the Reclaimer is that we have so much support damage from the towers, and we have something to hide against, that for me it is actually easier to complete encampments when I'm playing with my Shamrock Reclaimer than when I'm playing with a soldier, because I have Teddy Towers that will shield me from blasters. I have shock towers that will stun things, allowing me to get another angle to take them out. So for me, the Shamrock Reclaimer or the Flagman Flurry just are like really amazing to play with. And that is the main setup that I'm going to be playing with, so it made a lot of sense for me to include some gameplay with that instead of just pulling it out there. This is the best DPS I can do with the weapon. No, this here is how it actually looks when I play it, my casual, normal, everyday game style, and it works, and I can melt power level 100 encampments with it. I do not, when I solo these missions, go towards completing them all fast. I do go towards just doing the bonus super encampments. I spend like 5, 6, 7, 8 something minutes farming the map, getting some resources so that I never run out of everything. And I can do that super casually with the typewriter without even switching towards anything for like I need water against fire. No, I don't need that. The typewriter with these perfect perks, it just allows me to completely push through this mission. Of course I use my hover turrets, of course I use my Teddy Towers, my shock towers, because this is just normal casual gaming, and with this weapon, this hero setup, I can do that. So anyway guys, that was pretty much what I had to share in this video, my look into the typewriter. Probably the highest or second highest DPS assault rifle that is in the game right now when you go perfect perks with it and you like nudge your heroes to really boost it up crazy. Of course that goes for all weapons. It is very like dependent on the heroes that you use and their abilities. But the typewriter, pretty freaking crazy amazing. So that was what I had to share in this video, guys. I'm curious to hear what do you guys think about the typewriter. How do you feel about it compared to the Gravedigger? I'm actually thinking about testing that out, putting them up, like pitting them against each other. So That could be kind of interesting. If you're new to the channel and you want to like support and keep up to date, then be sure to like and subscribe. For now, guys, thank you very much and very much for watching.